Peace. Just out here watering my garden. Wanted y'all to check this out real quick. Got a few different things in there. Got some collards, some cabbage, some butternut squash, peppers, eggplant, tomatoes. Yeah, it's gonna be nice once everything comes out. But anyway, I just wanted to build for a second about the other day. I posted something about unity, equality, and solidarity, not necessarily in that order, and I just want to elaborate on that a little bit. You know, because I see a lot of people talking about unity and giving the appearance as if they're promoting it. But there's certain things that I see in regards to unity, solidarity, and equality as far as like fundamental principles are concerned, that I see a lot of these people not observing, so it's questionable whether they're really striving to promote those things. First and foremost, anybody that's striving to promote real unity, equality, and solidarity, it's important to approach things in an impartial way and to promote neutrality or being neutral. And what I mean by that is, suppose I met someone and I was interested in starting a relationship with them, and they live, you know, away from where I live, you know, maybe like in a different state or something like that. It wouldn't be fair for me to just expect them, even though I'm very rooted and grounded in the community I live in, I'm very productive and active here, it still wouldn't be fair for me to just expect them to drop everything they're doing and come move way over here with me. Because it'll put everything on my terms and put them in a situation where they're really playing away games. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to take advantage of them or anything like that, but it puts them to a disadvantage because everything is essentially on my terms. I'm more familiar with the geographic location, the demographics here. I've been living here for a while, and it just wouldn't be fair, wouldn't be equal terms to establish a relationship on. Now, if I was really looking towards equality, then I would say something along the lines of, well, let's meet halfway. You know, let's meet in a state that's between where we rest at, or maybe let's move to a place that we've never been together and start over fresh. You know, to me, that is a better case scenario in comparison to me just leaving and going over there with her, or her leaving and coming all the way over here with me. So, you know, if one of those two people are just simply advocating, I'm not getting up and going nowhere, you're going to have to come to me, it's questionable if they're really concerned about true solidarity and unity, because they're not showing any equality, because they're not really showing too much consideration for, you know, the moves that you would have to make and the sacrifices you would have to make in order to get there, and they're basically just not moving. You know, or maybe the other way around. You may not be being considerate of the moves that they may have to make and the sacrifices they have to make in order for them to come and be with you. You know, that's not considerate on your part. You know, another thing is I see certain elements of the so-called conscious community talking about unity, solidarity, and equality, and they do the exact same type of things. You know, they put this message or this call out there talking about, oh, we need unity amongst our people and all this other stuff, but then when you look at the event, or you look at the venue, you could tell that they never even really considered all of these people that they're talking about having unity with. They just set up their own event and said, come to us for unity. You know, it's questionable if that's really unity, because essentially all you're doing is setting up your event. It has all of your trimmings, and you want other people to come and support it. Because, first of all, it wasn't at a neutral location. People that you want unity with, there's no equal representation there, meaning the presence of the people that you want to have unity with, they're not playing an active role in the structure of the event or in the event itself as far as representing themselves as speaking or things along those lines. Even when it comes to taking on the financial burden of securing a venue or other different things that need to be taken care of for the event, that's not handled equally. You know, you're basically taking care of everything. And on top of that, there was no real consensus method that took place in regards to what we define as unity, how we define solidarity, and what we should actually be doing together as one people. Meaning, everybody's voice wasn't considered. You know, everybody didn't have a presence or a stake in whatever was being decided about what this event is. So like I said, if you don't see all of those basic elements of people being impartial and saying, well, everybody has a voice, everybody has a presence, you know, let's decide something and have it in a neutral location where it's not my event or it's not your event. If you don't see those type of considerations going on, then like I said, it's very questionable whether it's really equality, unity, and solidarity. What you're really doing is either supporting somebody else's event in their name and them calling it unity or solidarity, or they're just supporting some event that you're doing in your name and you're sitting there calling it unity, solidarity, and equality. But when you look at the structure of it, you look at the way that it's defined, you can tell that it's really not what people are saying that it is. And you have to be very careful about involving yourself in relationships, business partnerships, events, and things like that along those lines, because what you'll find out in the end is you were really just supporting what somebody else wanted to do, and they never really had you or had some consideration for you from the start, or vice versa. You know, if some people were supporting you and you really never had no consideration for them from the start. You know, sometimes I come in contact with people who are part of the religious community, you know, whether they're Muslims, believers or followers, or they're Christians or whatever, and, you know, maybe Jehovah's Witnesses or other different things. And they always want to invite you to their house of worship, and that's fine, you know. And they talk about unity and equality and solidarity of the community and of people. And, you know, they give you all the invitations in the world to come out to their house of worship. But then if you turn around and say you're a Jehovah's Witness, you turn around and say, well, yeah, I come to the temple, or I come to the mosque and stuff like that. And then you say, well, why don't you come to the Jehovah's Witness? Why don't you come to the Kingdom Hall, you know, next week? Now you start hearing some excuses. People act like they can't support you now, but they want you to support them. You know, the same thing with some Christians. You know, they invite you to church and stuff like that, but then if you turn around and say, why don't you come to the mosque, they say, oh, no, You know, so how is that really fair, and how do you expect to have a true, balanced, and fair relationship with people if you're only willing to do things on your terms according to, you know, what you require in your venue, and with all of the trimmings that make it look like something that you organize? You can't have no fairness, no equality, or no true solidarity with people if that's the way in which you're doing things. So, you know, I just wanted to take a moment to point some of that out so that those of you who are seeing people saying things like this and promoting stuff about unity, equality, and solidarity, that you're aware of what things have to actually be observed in order for you to really even have some sense of equality, solidarity, and unity. You know, there's certain basic fundamental principles. Impartiality. You know, people have to be impartial. They can't just come to the table telling you, you know, how they're going to do it, what they want to do, and they're not considering what it is that you have in your mind. They have to have a consensus method, meaning everybody's voice or everybody's input is valid, you know, and everybody has a presence there or a stake in what it is that you're sitting here striving to decide that is in the best interest of all of you. So consensus method has to be present. Also, neutrality. You know, everything has to be neutral, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to meet at your organization headquarters this week, find a place to meet that is specific to where they live at, or that is their organization headquarters next week. You know, if y'all going to get together at a time that's maybe best for you this week, get together for a time that's maybe good for them the following week. You know, and you have to constantly observe those different principles when it comes to unity, solidarity, and equality, because if not, then not only would a communication eventually break down, but what you thought or said was some type of bond is never going to exist, because somebody's not being considered, and somebody is playing away games and somebody's playing home games. So with that said, I hope it gave you some clarity, and you know, you got to kind of be like this garden right here. You know, they not arguing. Peace.